Have you ever heard that The Simpsons can predict the future? Sounds like an exaggeration, right? But what if I told you they nailed Trump's presidency, the FIFA scandal, Disney buying Fox, and even a tragedy deep in the ocean? In this video, you'll discover the most bizarre and shockingly accurate predictions that went straight from Springfield to real life. Some of them are so spot on, they'll send chills down your spine. So get ready, because what started as a joke turned into prophecy. The Simpsons' scariest prophecy, Donald Trump as president. Back in the year 2000, The Simpsons aired a futuristic episode where Lisa becomes president of the United States. So far, nothing out of the ordinary. But during a conversation in the Oval Office, she drops a line that would make the entire world freeze years later. We've inherited quite a budget crunch from President Trump.
As you know, we've inherited quite a budget crunch from President Trump. How bad is it, Secretary Van Houten?
Yes, you heard that right. Donald Trump was mentioned as a former US president. At the time, he was just an eccentric billionaire with reality TV shows, nowhere near politics. Everyone thought it was just an over-the-top joke. But in 2016, the impossible happened. Trump won the election and became the 45th president of the United States. The prediction was so spot on, it went viral worldwide. The internet exploded, and that scene resurfaced like the writers had a crystal ball hidden in the basement. More than just a coincidence, it was a cultural shock. That episode became the ultimate symbol of The Simpsons' prophetic powers. And the weirdest part? They even nailed the disastrous economic situation he left behind in a fictional episode, no less. Did The Simpsons predict the Titan submarine disaster? In this episode, Homer finds out he might have a different father, a thrill-seeking old adventurer who invites him on a wild expedition to search for sunken treasure. They dive into the depths of the ocean in mini submarines, and that's when things take a dark turn. During the mission, Homer's sub gets stuck on a reef, pressure begins to build, oxygen runs low, and a flashing oxygen low warning appears on screen. What do I do? Trapped with no way out, Homer passes out and only wakes up 3 days later in a hospital. Years later, in June 2023, the world was shaken by a tragedy that was eerily similar. The Titan submersible, operated by OceanGate, went missing during a mission to visit the wreck of the Titanic. 5 people were on board. They lost contact, and it was later revealed that the vessel had imploded due to extreme pressure. There were no survivors. While Homer is rescued in the episode, the parallels are chilling. A deep sea expedition, dwindling oxygen, total emergency, and the haunting image of a man trapped at the bottom of the ocean, gasping for air. It's as if the cartoon scene had been pulled straight from a news report. Coincidence or prophecy? One thing's for sure, The Simpsons showed us the depths of the ocean, long before the world saw what was really down there. Did The Simpsons predict Brazil's 7-1 loss? The episode that anticipated a national humiliation. Just a few months before the 2014 FIFA World Cup in Brazil, The Simpsons aired what seemed like just another playful satire. In the episode, Homer is chosen to be a referee at the World Cup, specifically because he's seen as one of the few people who could resist the deep-rooted corruption in international soccer. The final takes place in Brazil, and the home team, expected to win, ends up losing to Germany. The score is different from what actually happened. In the episode, it's 2-0 for Germany, but the heartbreak is unmistakable. The nation spirals into chaos after the loss, and Homer, trying to uphold his integrity, gets caught in a moral storm. Just months later, on July 8th, 2014, the prophecy hit hard. At Mineiro Stadium in Belo Horizonte, Brazil suffered a crushing 7-1 defeat to Germany, one of the most devastating losses in football history, and on home soil, just like in the episode. While some details differ, the real match was a semi-final, not a final. The core of the prediction was there. Brazil would lose to Germany at home, and it would become a global scandal. The episode aired before the tournament even began, which only fueled The Simpsons' reputation as absurdly accurate prophets. Coincidence? Maybe. But for Brazilians, that episode feels more like a nightmare foretold.
Ah, Brazil, I couldn't stay afraid of you forever. The only thing that keeps me from living here is that fish that swims up your pee stream. That is a deal breaker.
Did The Simpsons predict the pandemic? The chilling Osaka flu episode. Nearly 30 years before the pandemic that brought the world to a halt, The Simpsons had already shown something eerily similar. In this 1993 episode, a new product arrives in Springfield from Japan, but it comes with an unexpected bonus, a virus hidden inside the packaging. Before long, the so-called Osaka flu spreads across the entire town.
Please don't tell the supervisor I have the flu.
I've been working with a shattered pelvis for 3 weeks.
Everyone gets sick, sneezing, coughing, and panicking. The public demands a cure, protests erupt at hospitals, and people even destroy delivery trucks, believing they'll find the antidote inside. Total chaos. Fast forward to 2020. The world faces the COVID-19 pandemic, caused by a virus that also originated in Asia. Suddenly, everyone starts remembering that Simpsons episode. The similarities are uncanny. Asian origin, rapid spread, mass hysteria, and even fake news about miracle cures. The Simpsons didn't just show a pandemic before it happened. They also satirized misinformation, government responses, and public behavior, all decades in advance. Coincidence? Maybe. But when the whole world starts watching an old cartoon episode and asking, how did they know? That's when things get really unsettling. Did The Simpsons predict Disney buying Fox? And they nailed it. Back in the late 90s, no one could have imagined two entertainment giants joining forces. But The Simpsons were already there, peeking into the future, as always. In this 1998 episode, a quick but explosive visual appears. A sign that reads, 20th Century Fox, a division of Walt Disney Company. At the time, it was just a clever joke, one of those cheeky throwaway gags the writers loved to sneak in. After all, Disney and Fox were fierce rivals in Hollywood, and the idea of a merger sounded like pure fantasy. Fast forward to 2019, the joke became reality. Disney officially acquired 20th Century Fox for over $70 billion, completely reshaping the landscape of film and television. Fox literally became part of Disney, just like that sign in the episode had shown 21 years earlier. What seemed like just another satirical punchline became one of The Simpsons' most literal and jaw-dropping predictions ever. To this day, that frame of the sign keeps circulating online, proof for many that this show doesn't miss by accident. Did The Simpsons even predict a Nobel Prize winner? Yep, they really did. In this 2010 episode, Lisa and her nerdy friends take part in a very unusual betting pool. They try to guess that year's Nobel Prize winners. Seems like just another nerdy gag from the writers, right? But in one blink and you'll miss it moment, we see their predictions on a whiteboard. And guess who Milhouse picked for the Nobel Prize in economics? Bengt R. Holmstrom. At the time, hardly anyone knew the name, just another economist among many. But then, in 2016, 6 years later, the unbelievable happened. Bengt Holmstrom actually won the Nobel Prize, alongside Oliver Hart for their work on contract theory. That tiny scene, which once seemed like a throwaway joke, resurfaced as yet another spot-on Simpsons prediction. And this time, it wasn't about politics, scandals, or disasters. It was about a very specific name, far from the public spotlight. It might have looked like just a random nerd joke, but when even Milhouse's jokes start coming true, you can't help but wonder if this show knows way more than it should. The Simpsons predicted smartwatches in 1995. In an episode that flashes forward to Lisa's future, the writers had fun imagining what the world would look like years ahead. Flying cars, robots, those details fade next to one subtle but stunning moment. A character is seen using a watch to make voice calls. That's right, in 1995, The Simpsons showed a device that wouldn't become reality for another 2 decades. At the time, a watch was just a watch. But here, it had smart functions, letting the user talk right into their wrist, just like we do today with an Apple Watch or Galaxy Watch. Then in 2015, the prediction came true. The first Apple Watch launched, marking the official beginning of the smartwatch era. Since then, these devices have exploded in popularity, managing calls, texts, heart rate, even contactless payments. The scene may seem small, but it's one of those hidden gems that only sharp-eyed fans catch. Once again, The Simpsons looked into the future and guessed with almost tech-level precision. Think that was it? There's more. Did The Simpsons really predict Queen Elizabeth II's death? The truth behind the theory. On September 8th, 2022, the world came to a standstill with the news of Queen Elizabeth II's death. It was truly the end of an era. And as always happens during historic moments, the internet did what it does best. It dug up a Simpsons episode. Suddenly, images started circulating online. An animated queen in a coffin, complete with accurate birth and death dates. Everything seemed to match real life.
Okay, let's see. Oh, you can buff that out. You can buff that out. That's factory error. Oh, that thing's supposed to be on fire.
And of course, given the show's reputation for predicting the future, people believed it. But was it true? In season 15, episode 4, titled The Regina Monologues, Homer does crash the Queen's carriage. Yes, she appears in the episode, but very much alive and still reigning. There's no reference to her death, no dates, no funeral scene. The viral images that followed, they were digitally edited by fans, fake visuals designed to look like a prediction, that animated coffin with real dates, completely fabricated. So unlike the many real predictions the Simpsons have gotten right, this one is pure animated fake news. Still, it's worth mentioning because it reminds us, even shows that hit the mark often can become targets of manipulation. And if you fell for it, don't worry, it happens. What matters is continuing to seek the truth, and here, we do that, with facts and a healthy dose of curiosity. So after all these spot-on predictions, some real, some not, it's hard not to wonder, do the Simpsons actually have a crystal ball, or are they just that good at reading the world? Coincidence or not, one thing's for sure, every time something weird happens, we rush to check if the Simpsons already saw it coming. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and drop a comment. Which prediction shocked you the most? See you next time, and keep your eyes open because Springfield might just be one step ahead of our future.